BPK Insight hadir untuk mengajak kalian mengenal lebih dekat lewat cerita dan sudut pandang yang berbeda.
Welcome to BPK Insight, BPK Corporate University Learning Podcast. So today we are going to talk about the SDGs. What is it, SDGs? Sustainable Development Goals. But in terms of the role of SAI, the Supreme Audit Institutions, in helping to achieve the SDGs, today we have Mr. Yudi Ramdan, our head of the Public Relation and International Cooperation Bureau of BPK. So Mr. Yudi here will explain more about what BPK has done and also will continue to support the achievement of the SDGs in Indonesia. So good morning, Mr. Yudi.
Good morning.
How are you?
Fine, thank you.
Okay, so we will start the first question. The SDGs are a common goal of countries in the world to be achieved by 2030. So in Indonesia also, the implementation of the SDGs is also linked to the implementation of development, namely in the long term for 5 years and also in the regional short term or in the RPGMD we call it. So as we know, BPK is fully committed to contributing to the achievement of the SDGs. Some tangible manifestations of BPK contribution include the first one. We can recall that BPK has carried out the SDGs preparedness examination in semester 1 of 2018. And then the second one, we have also carried out performance checks from an SDGs perspective since semester 1 of 2019. And then the third one, we have also conducted a review of the Indonesian government's Voluntary National Review or VNR in 2021. So what is the expected role of an SAI in terms of achieving the SDGs?
Yes, thank you very much. When we are talking about the auditing SDGs initiative at the moment from the global perspective, we should refer to the result of Intosai Conference 20 held in Abu Dhabi 2016, where Intosai decided to have 4 approaches in contribution to the 2030 agenda, or we call the Sustainable Development Goal. There are 4 approaches that SAI could play in regard to the auditing SDGs. First, Intosai called the SAI around the world to kind of audit or assess the preparedness of government in implementing the SDGs in respective country. This is the first one. The second one, Intosai expect SAI around the world to undertake the performance audit on SDGs implementation. As you know, SDGs has 17 goals, 169 targets, and 230 indicators. Every country they have a different application on how they what kind of transform the 2030 agenda or SDGs 17 goal in their national context. It's gonna be like Indonesia 169 target. Indonesia since 2017, the only Indonesia just adopt the SDGs. If I'm not mistaken, is like 95 targets for mainstreaming SDGs to the national development plan. So for this, in regard to the second approaches, SAI around the world can conduct the audit on specific goals or specific targets in link to the national target. The third one, what SAI could play in regard to the SDGs, they could play in regard to the goals number 16, And number 16 is about the regarding the what kind of inclusive, accountable, and effective public institution. This is more kind of talking about the transparency and accountability of the countries, government. So the SAI could conduct, for example, financial audit or compliance audit or related audit to ensure the accountability and transparency of government in making public financial management more accountable, more inclusive, and more effective. So I think this is gonna be very strong related with the mandate of SAI around the world, like financial audit and performance audit. We are talking about the third approaches, which is expectation to SAI to conduct the what kind of financial audit or compliance audit or other audit that could make sure the SAI more accountable transparencies, especially in regard to the public financial management. As you know, this kind of approach is related with the very fundamental rules of SAI around the world, because I believe all SAI could has a mandatory mandate in regard to the financial audit and compliance audit. Like most of SAI, like Indonesia, we every first semester we used to perform financial audit to meet with the requirement from the audit law that BPK could provide assurance to the financial statement on the governments from national, subnational, and district. So this is the third one. The last one, how does SAI expected to contribute to the sustainable development goal, is talking about the being model of transparency and accountability, because it's gonna be very important. We not only audit government or entities who kind of implement the SDGs, but at the same time we should make sure that as SAI as a public institution has to have a role model to demonstrate that SAI as organization already in line with the principle of SDGs in the 17th goal. So that all the what kind of expectation of SAI in regard to the contribution of SDGs, somehow the fourth approaches that I'm talking about right now is kind of what kind of experience is the new forms, like for example, some SAI more focus on the preparedness audit, as I mentioned earlier. Since 2017 until now, there are 100 SAI around the world who's already completed audit on preparedness of SDGs implementation, and some SAI is already initiated conduct performance audit in specific SDGs audit, and other SAI is already kind of make some approaches of this one. For example, for the first one, I'm talking about the first approaches, like 100 auditing SDG preparedness. Most of the report is already completed and is already followed up by most of a government around the world, and has good result on how a government consider into account the importance of, for example, the policy coherence, the multi-stakeholder engagement, and leave no one behind in regard to the preparation. And another thing that they have already follow up is all government trying to, they call, build the policy formulation in conducting or applying the global agenda to the national development plan, because it's quite important the SDGs is the global agenda, but in the country they should like mainstream the target or the specific target or indicator to the national context. And the national context, which is the national development plan, each country should put in their program plan and everything to make sure the global agenda is already there. And the last one, I think there is kind of development in making the process adaptation of 2030 agenda to national development is going to be more smoothly, meaning to say the government trying to make the global agenda with the national context and priorities. And the second approach that I'm talking about, undertaking performance audit, some SAI is already conducting specific audit. For example, some SAI is already conducted the SDGs on the health system. This is SDGs related to the goals number 3. 3.D is a resilient health system. Is going to be relevant with the current situation. Right now is around 50 SAIs in the process completing auditing performance audit on the goals number 3 or target 3.D. And the last one, some SAI is already in line with this approaches 4. Being model accountability transparency. One of example like BPK Orsa Indonesia, we have already applied the performance management framework or PMF. Is the measurement on how we make sure that SAI have already have good performance from the institutional level, organizational level, as well as the professional institutional capacity. So this is the process on how SAI could play. So I just want to reiterate from the beginning what expectation of SAI, the 4 approaches, and some SAI is already performed and what kind of conducted all approaches from 2017 to now 2021. I should stop here, and thank you. That's all.
Okay, the next question. What are the biggest challenges for an SAI in carrying out these roles? And then what about BPK?
Yes, thank you. When we are talking about the challenges that SAI facing right now in regard to the auditing SDGs, we should explain from 3 perspectives. Which are the institutional capacity perspective, second the organizational capacity perspective, and professional capacity perspective. For the first one, when we are talking about the institutional capacity, what SAI is facing in regard to the auditing SDGs about the mandate, because somehow there is no specific mandate that SAI could audit the policy. Because when we are talking about auditing SDGs, somehow we are talking about the outcome, about the policy formulation. In respect specific jurisdiction, they don't have any mandate to conduct just directly audit the policy formulation. They just only can do audit on the policy implementation. That's why this is very important to see. The mandate is supposed to be clear in auditing SDGs. But of course, it's not saying that SAI could not audit SDGs. They could audit SDGs, but in perspective of policy implementation. They couldn't ask a question, why this is policy like this? But it's more trying to conduct or assess the implementation of policy itself. So that's why this is the challenge that SAI facing in regard to the SDGs, because somehow SDGs are about talking about outcome, more strategic, but somehow SAI in respective country, specific country, is only talking about the more entity-based, output-based. This is the first one. The second one, in regard to the organizational capacity perspective, is talking about the to what extent the SAI plan the audit itself. Somehow, as I mentioned earlier, SDGs is more long-term perspective. It's outcome-based. Somehow not 1 year or 2 years, but it's more than 5 years. You can see the 2030 agenda is talking about until 2030, isn't it? So all the target indicator achievement is the milestone is not 1 year. So that's why if there is no business process to plan out SDGs audit portfolio, meaning to say we have to plan more than 1 year, because by then we can easy to have a result to what extent one target, which is 5 years, is already achieved or not. So that's why the business plan of SAI should follow the nature and the complexity of SDGs itself. This is the second challenges. So the business process supposed to follow the long-term perspective of SDGs. The last one challenges is about the professional capacity. We are talking about the methodology. We are talking about the human capital who conduct audit SDGs. The first one, of course, the methodology of guidance on how SDGs is still very generic. Right now we have IDI SDGs audit model as a main reference in auditing SDGs, but of course this is a model supposed to be every SAI have a make on their guidance to be able to conduct SDGs. This the second one, the challenges is about the professional staff to conduct. They should not only about auditing SDGs, but they have understand the performance audit. Somehow when we are talking about auditing SDGs, the core competency that SAI could play is about the performance audit. Of course, there will be additional thing from the subject matter, which is the professional SAI should understand the complexity or the subject matter of SDGs itself, because SDGs is gonna be quite big. It's very cover all things of the life of the people in the countries. So that's why professional staff should have a periodic and continuing training or capacity building to maintain the capacity in doing SDGs. So there are three perspectives to be faced by SAI in regard to auditing SDGs. I think that's all.
Okay, Mr. Yudi, the next question is, in realizing these roles, is it necessary to support and cooperate with extended or external parties of the SAI?
Yes. Given the novelty and what kind of complexity of 2030 Agenda SDG is quite challenging for most of SAI, we need something that SAI support for external parties, especially from the professional association like Intosai, because Intosai right now they have many initiatives in regard to the SDGs. For example, we have IDI, Intosai Development Initiative, through they call Auditing SDGs Initiative since 2017, and working group on the Sustainable Development Goal, Development and Key National Indicator, who responsible to kind of share and improve the capacity building or sharing knowledge about auditing SDGs. Of course, and there are some working group in Intosai who kind of concern on auditing SDGs. So all resources we needed from SAI perspective to improve the capacity in conducting SDGs. I just want to kind of focus on the Intosai Development Initiative, where I was there since 2018 as a manager of capacity building in auditing SDGs. I still remember when I was there, we are initiate the IDI SDGs audit model as a main reference for SAI who conduct the SDGs. In IDI SDGs audit model, we are trying to provide some guidance, but it's more model, isn't it? It's not very how to, it's more specific, but at least provide some reference for SAI to conduct auditing SDGs. Through this audit model, we are trying to provide some kind of guidance for SAI from the two levels, from the strategic level and from the operational level. From the perspective level, in ISAM we call, ask the SAI on how they develop the audit plan in regard SDGs. To what extent SAI could understand the SDGs in their countries from the National Development Plan, and to what extent SAI could plan auditing SDGs portfolio, because as I mentioned earlier in the previous question, audit SDGs is more long-term perspective. It's not 1 year but more than 5 years to some extent on the specific and target. So that's why audit portfolio is quite important to be prepared by SAI. This is the strategic level. From the operational level, actually we provide on how to provide a design audit of SDGs, execute the SDGs audit, and reporting of SDGs audit. To complement this one, we also provide annex in regard to the data analytic, because data analytic in regard SDGs is quite important, where right now every country they put all the data in regard to achievement on their national development, and by using the data analytic, what kind of data analytic, we can audit SDGs using the big data to ease the process of auditing itself. So this ISAM we are trying to provide, and beside ISAM we also provide a cooperative audit start since 2017. As I mentioned earlier, the first cooperative audit is the SDGs preparedness audit, where 100 SAI involved in this process, and they have already completed around 2019 and 20, and they have already have some impact to the respective government on how they improve the implementation of SDGs in their respective country. Beside this one, of course, advocacy is very important, especially for head of SAI, to advocate the importance of SDGs in the respective country. So this is gonna be very important to have. So, and how about in BPK, isn't it? In BPK, actually, the good thing in BPK is so active right from the beginning. Initiative of audit SDGs began. So BPK is involved in cooperative audit, auditing SDG preparedness audit, and of course the one thing that the good thing from BPK, not only implement the initiative on cooperative audit, but also BPK is already mainstream the SDGs or 2030 agenda in their strategic audit plan of BPK 2017 to 2020-2024, where BPK has good thing in put what SDGs related audit classified in two dimensions. First, we put in dedicated SDGs, and the second one, embedded SDGs audit. Dedicated SDGs is gonna be in strategic audit plan. We audit in specific target or goals. For example, before last year, we audit the SDGs related with the sustainable transport, 12.2 if I'm mistaken, and the SDGs goals target 3.D. So this is dedicated SDGs, and the embedded SDGs. This is all the audit that BPK is planning to be performed. Put on SDGs principle or SDGs value there. For example, for financial audit, performance audit, on compliance. Because if we are talking about auditing SDGs, it's not only merely about the specific goal or target, but the value of principle of SDGs, where SDGs we are talking about the policy coherence, or we call whole of government approach. We are talking about the multi-stakeholder engagement, where the audit supposed to be engaged with many stakeholders to understand the whole picture on the implementation of policy. The last one is leave no one behind. So how we more inclusive in auditing SDGs, because somehow we not audit like specific, like marginalized group, like vulnerable group, where like poverty line, under poverty line. So there is there are the value of the SDGs audit. So embedded is part of this one. So even in financial audit or compliance or performance audit, we can relate in the system and the SDGs, because we have 169 target. So all the audit conducted by BPK can relate to the all goal or target. So somehow actually BPK is already being engaged with the SDGs, because SDGs is something that we have already done, but is more trying to connect with the integrated picture. So yes, I think this.
Yeah, it means that actually internally in BPK, BPK has aligned its programs, yes, and activities, and also the audit plans, maybe to strengthen the role of SAI regarding the achievement of the SDGs. Is there any other maybe specific efforts made by BPK, maybe?
Yes, of course. For example, BPK beyond the auditing SDGs. For example, 2021 last year, BPK performs we call review on voluntary national review. So we conduct the voluntary national review conducted by Indonesia, government Indonesia, submitted to the UN. We call high level political forum. So because every countries annually they submitted, they call the voluntary national review. VNR is about the achievement of 2030 agenda on the respective country, and they present to the high level political forum to share the knowledge and information to all member states. So this is the first time where SAI, like Indonesia, like BPK, conduct the review on report on VNR. So this is good, because we wouldn't have like information in the one voluntary national report. There is no kind of supposed to be in line with information provided by SAI. By doing the review itself, that can provide quote unquote assurance that information included in voluntary national report of SAI could be like assessed or reviewed by SAI. So by then, when the VNR submitted to the global arena, that could provide some information is in line, isn't it? Because it's very important that information is more credible, isn't it? Because a country or citizen will read this information on the achievement of SDGs in respective country. This is the another initiative for from SAI like BPK to contribute to the achievement SDGs beside the auditing SDGs itself.
Okay, what about the capacity building things? I mean, it is also an important thing that BPK also need to increase their capacity building. Is there any effort, some kind of maybe establishment of task force, or maybe the center of SDGs?
Since last year, we are starting to set up or establish the we call task force center of SDGs in BPK. This is very important because task force will facilitate or kind of like the hub of the knowledge of in BPK in regard to the auditing SDGs. Somehow as I mentioned earlier, the maybe the Tortamas or Kepala Auditorat or host what representative, they need something, the knowledge or information about SDG in high level, but also the auditor itself, they should understand on how they deal with auditing SDGs. So that's why the task force is already established, and of course this is a combination from all employee or staff of BPK put in the task force, where the role of the function of task force has four tasks. The first one, we are trying to provide some advocacy and publication to understand the conceptual and principle of SDGs from the perspective high level, strategic level, somehow internally, externally. So because as I mentioned earlier, the novelty of SDGs is quite strange for people who doesn't understand right from the beginning what is SDGs, what kind of animal is. So that's why from the task force we provide some very light information, like we have some meeting or would like to have like flyer something, but it's more provide to high level, especially for head of AKN or Tortama or representative office to understand what SDGs. And this gonna be provide some basic and understanding from high level standing. But also we not only internal but also external, because we need have some understanding what SDGs mean or role of SAI. Somehow like government in national, like in kementerian or in provinces or in district or kabupaten kota, they should understand what the role of SAI, what a role of BPK auditor to come to this audit and provide some additional value to their government in regard to the auditing SDGs. So this advocacy is very important. This is the first one. What kind of the role of or task of the task force. The second one is talking about the capacity building, because you are asking me about the capacity building. The task force would have we call subject matter experts, because they understand about the how auditor can do audit SDGs. So it's talking about the provide some guidance and of course the training through all auditors, and of course we also trying to find the capacity initiative run or perform or initiated by international like Intosai or IDI, and trying to facilitate to all auditor in BPK. This is the capacity building. Or we could provide some assistance or advice to the training institute in regard SDGs, because we have a list of people or competent person to understand SDGs, and they could as a subject matters or facilitator in improving what knowledge or information or capacity of professional staff in BPK in auditing SDGs. The third function from the task force of SDGs, of course, they should periodically maintain the knowledge about SDGs with, of course, the update ones by doing research, because research is very important given the very fast development of SDGs. So by doing research, we could provide some kind of thoughts or perspective to contribute to the auditing SDGs. For example, how we use the data analytic in auditing SDGs, how we use system thinking in auditing SDGs, how we use the what kind of policy analysis in SDGs. So we can provide some practical tips on auditing SDGs, not only for BPK staff or BPK auditor, but also for the regional, even international level or international level. So this is the research. The third, the last one is very important. We not only just saying advocacy, just talking, subject matter expert or research. More importantly is provide some what we call complement or provide some assistance in the field. Somehow the auditor in the field, they need somebody who understand on how translate guidance into the practical words in it, because they could understand the guidance or they have already trained, but somehow they need somebody during their auditing can help them to support the way they design audit, to support on how they executed audit, and of course the way they provide some good report. So this more like quote unquote like our desk something, hub, help desk something, and anytime they can come in and ask the task force when they are facing the problems or something that they couldn't understand in regard to the SDGs things. So this is the first, advocacy, capacity building, research, and the fourth one is about support to the audit. So that all the task force. Of course, task force is gonna be very fluid one, because somehow auditing SDGs is gonna be very fast development in the world right now.
Okay, Mr. Yudi, the last question from me. Do you have any expectation regarding the role of BPK in the future to further strengthen itself in the international sphere? So, in guarding the achievement of the SDGs.
Yes. When we are talking about the future, of course we should talking about what current states need, because we couldn't design our expectation or expect something in the future unless we already prepare something right from the beginning in the current state. So I believe BPK, with the very kind of intensive experience in regard auditing SDGs since 2017, BPK has a good modalities in conducting SDGs in the future. So taking into account all the modalities that BPK has, from the experience, from the capacity in audit strategic audit planning, in capacity involved in cooperative audit and engaged with the audit itself until now, I would expect the BPK could has one of SAI have like as hub for auditing SDGs, because BPK has good conducive environment, because BPK has a good relationship with the government in making the 20 agenda on the tracks, and right now we have a good relationship. We used to have a joint event in the UN with government Indonesia and BPK hand by hand, so it is good. And the second, in the international arena, BPK has very engaged, because my background as the manager of SDGs, I part of the SDGs capacity building, so knowledge information still keep up with this one. And of course there is so many subject matter expert and auditor BPK is already involved in the international arena, and one of the SAI already translate the ISAM into Bahasa Indonesia, and which we have already applied the ISAM in the specific dedicated SDGs. And even some of we also provide like what mainstream the ISAM into the working group on environment audit, where we used to every year we have a training on the SDGs in regard to the environment. So this one is going to be a great modalities to step up for the next level of BPK in regard auditing SDGs. So I do expect that BPK could play more significant roles in providing advocacy and subject matter in terms of guidance, and of course, and all SAI, some of auditor who have capacity in doing SDGs could be not only subject matter in Indonesia but also international subject matter. By all have many things, so we could have like integrated capacities in regard auditing SDGs and become a hub of SDGs, auditing SDGs in the future. Of course, this is not easy, but I believe by collaborative efforts from all internally stakeholder in BPK, to be able to guide this auditing SDGs, I do believe BPK can achieve as a SDGs center, auditing SDGs center in the future. I think that's all from me. Thank you.
Okay, sahabat pembelajar, that is our episode of BPK Insight today. So see you in the next program. Salam BPK Korbu.